our core strength classes by building heat with some core work. So you can flip your playlist on or whatever music you want to be moving to today. We can lie back onto our backs and just set your feet as wide as the outsides of your mat. Take your arms out at shoulder height and then begin to just slowly rock your knees back and forth. This is a place in the practice where I just invite you to start to loosen up your low back. Maybe just begin to bring your attention to the fact that you have arrived. You've got 45 minutes for you to move into a centered place, a strong place, and then your day will be that much easier. And then let's come back to the center. When you come back to the center, I'm going to start with your feet onto the floor. Press down into the feet and gently curl your tailbone up, lifting your lowest part of your back off the mat for a reverse curl, and then low back comes down. Let's do that 4 more times. Reverse curl up and down. Warming gently through the lower abdomen. Really bring your mind into your body and observe and notice the muscles that are working to create the reverse curl. And then the last one, go ahead and lower your spine down onto the floor. Bend your right knee, draw the knee in. And then keep your low back planted on the floor as you extend your leg out, maybe just 2 inches above the ground. Drop back in. We're doing this twice more. Extending the leg long, hold there. And then draw the foot in, place the right foot down. Same thing on the left side. Draw the left knee into your chest and then extend the leg out about 1 inch above the floor. Drawing back in, waking up the lower abdomen. These muscles are great for helping us to balance as we move through some of the strengthening poses, especially the standing poses. Hold the leg extended out, hold there. And then go ahead and set your feet onto the floor. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Place your hands on the top of your quadriceps, pressing as if you're pushing your hands into a wall. Then we'll push the thighs into the hands, lift the head up off the ground, press your thighs into your hands into your legs for 3, 2, 1. Relax that down. Now take your hands behind your ears. Elbows are going to be wide. On the exhalation, draw your elbows up towards your knees, the knees towards the elbows, and then tap the toes down to the floor. Draw into a little bowl, and then extend it long. We'll do 5 more of these. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. This last one, hold here. Now extend your left leg out, prepare for bicycle crunch. Bring your left elbow across towards the right knee. Then switch sides, right elbow to left knee. And continue there, bicycle crunch, 30 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and stretch your arms over your head, stretch your legs nice and long. And then draw your knees up towards your chest. Then you're gonna rock yourself up, coming up maybe 3 times. I always like the massage of the back myself. And then set your feet onto the floor. Take your hands out in front of you. Visualize that you're holding on to like a block, like a big heavy cement block. And then lower yourself down just enough to feel your core activating. And then rotate to the right side. Come back to the center. All the while, imagine that you're holding on to something heavy. Come back to the center and rotate. Center, rotate. One more side. Come back to the center, lift up. Cross your ankles. Plant your hands onto your mat. And step it back into a tabletop position. When you get into tabletop pose, press palms into the floor, knees or hip width apart. On an inhalation, come to a cow pose. Drop navel down, gaze high. On your exhalation, round your back for a cat pose. We'll do 1 more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale to cat. Then come back to a neutral position. Send just your left leg behind you. Touch the toes down to the ground and then press through your heel to stretch through your calf and lower leg. Keep pressing the mat away from you with your palms. Now lift your left foot up and swing it around towards the back right corner of your mat. Send your gaze over your right shoulder to take a side stretch. Then we'll come back to the center. On the exhalation, draw your knee towards your left elbow, left shoulder rather, and then send your leg back. We'll do that 4 more times. Draw it in and then extend it out. I'm not even going to comment about this being called fire hydrant pose. Right? Come forward, press it back. Last one, and then take it back. Nice work, guys. Take the knee down. Let's extend the right foot out. Tap the toes down to the ground and press through your heel, stretching through the lower leg. And then here we'll lift up. Take your foot around towards the back left corner of your mat and then swing your gaze over your left shoulder. Come back to the center, leg is lifted. Then draw your knee forward towards your right shoulder. Extend the leg back out. 4 more of those. Strong core, keep pushing the ground away with your palms. And last one. Nice work. Knee comes down, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Seat is reaching up towards the sky. As we move through our practice today, core strength class, you might notice that you want to have a few less repetitions. That's perfectly fine. You can come into a child's pose anytime through the class. I often like to rest in hero's pose, just sitting on the heels, keeping my head above the heart when the heart rate gets lifted. So press back a little more through your legs and press through your palms. Then from here, we'll come forward into a high plank pose. In high plank, push the mat away from you. Keep your gaze forward about a foot in front of your fingertips. Downward facing dog, press back. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Come forward into high plank pose, hold there. Press the floor away with your palms. Press it back. 3-legged dog. Take the right foot to the floor. Downward facing dog, send your left leg high. Then come forward into your high plank pose, holding the left leg lifted. Hold 3, 2, press back, downward facing dog. Now we'll send the right leg up to the sky and step your right foot forward between your hands into a low lunge pose. Take your right hand, reach it up towards the sky, low lunge twist. Release the right hand down to the mat. Step back into your high plank pose. Hold here for 3. Beginning to build some heat. 2, 1, press back, downward facing dog. Left leg is going to lift up. Step left foot forward between your hands into a low lunge. Left hand's going to reach up towards the sky, taking your low lunge twist. This time, place your left hand down and step your right foot to the top of your mat. On your inhale, come to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up to a mountain pose, Tadasana. And on your exhalation, sit back into a chair squat, bending the knees, sit deep. Inhale, reach back up to a mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Plant your hands, step back into your high plank pose. From your high plank pose, lower down 3 times to a low plank. Press back up to plank. Low plank pose. High plank pose. Low plank. Press up, down dog. Deep breath in. Empty all of it out. Then step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Let's flow through that 2 more times. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach to the sky for mountain pose. On your exhale, sit back into your chair squat. Inhale, back to mountain pose. Push the floor away. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale's half lift. On your exhale, plant your hands, step it back, high plank pose, lowering for 3 low push-ups. Back to plank, 2 more. Press back up. 1 more low plank. Press it up. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Empty it all out. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Last time through, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale's mountain pose. Exhale, sink back into your chair squat. Inhale, the arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale's halfway lift. Planting the hands, step back to high plank pose 3 times. Lower to low plank. Back up to plank. Low plank. Back to plank. Low plank. Press back. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it all out. Nice work. Inhale the right leg up to the sky. On your exhalation, come forward into a plank pose, keeping the right leg lifted. In your plank pose, draw your right knee up towards your right shoulder and take it back. Right shoulder with the knee. Take it back. One more time. Try to lift the knee up to the shoulder. Take it back. Downward facing dog. Left side. Come forward into high plank pose. Lift your left leg up. Draw your left knee towards your left shoulder. Back to plank. Shoulder to plank. Last one. Shoulder, plank, and downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Empty it all out. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Reach tall for a mountain pose, Tadasana. Then take your arms back like airplane wings as you sink down into your chair squat. As we're sinking into chair squat with the arms reaching back like airplane wings, we're going to come up to standing. And when you come up to standing, draw your left knee to your chest. So mountain pose with the knee to the chest. Then come back slowly into your chair squat. Arms reach back like airplane wings. Rise up this time, right knee lifts up. Slowly set your foot down, get low into your chair squat, and then come back up. Left knee lifts. Continue this at your own pace. Lifting. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Good, last one. Now come into your squat. Get nice and low. Little pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and fold forward. Inhale's a halfway lift. On your exhalation, plant your hands and step it back into a plank pose. You can practice these with your legs straight or knees down. We're coming into some regular style push-ups. Take your hands a little wider. Maybe even off your mat completely. Elbows bent, lower. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press it back towards a child's pose. Let the forehead come down. Take a couple of deep breaths. Downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. On your exhale, step right foot forward. Warrior 1, back heel spins down. Arms reaching up. Take a moment to stretch through the hips, press through the back foot, shoulders squaring forward. Then bring your hands together at your heart center. With the hands together at the heart, interlace all fingers except pointer finger thumb for Charlie's Angels Mudra. From here, we're going to move in and out of Warrior 3 to Warrior 1. The transitionings help to build core strength. So shift your weight onto your front foot. And with an inhalation, you're going to reach and extend your legs back. Reach your fingers forward into a Warrior 3. Then gently step it back. Warrior 1 on an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Shift it forward, Warrior 3. And then go at your own pace. Exhale is the Warrior 3. Inhale is Warrior 1. Back and forth. Some might choose a faster pace to find their rhythm and flow. Others will have a slower pace. Taking good care of your body. Last one, find your Warrior 1, reach it up to the sky, and plant your hands down onto the ground. Begin to straighten your front leg a little more, pyramid pose. Drop forehead down towards knee or shin. Bend your right knee, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Take your left leg high. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Inhale as a warrior one. Feel grounded, rooted through the feet. Gently lift through the lower abdomen. Bring the hands together at the heart. Interlace all fingers except pointer finger, thumb. Begin to point forward and move into your warrior three. Reach in. And step gently back, warrior one. Inhale. Hands to the heart and point it forward, warrior three. Do this a couple of times on your own. Warming up a little more through the glutes and lower body. Strong core. Last one is warrior one. Reach to the sky. Place your hands down onto the floor and begin to straighten the front leg a little more. Pyramid stretch. Bend your knee, plant your hands, step it back. Downward facing dog. From down dog, take a deep breath. Empty it all out. And step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, fold. Make sure your feet are hip width apart and rise up to mountain pose. When you get into mountain pose, bring your hands to your heart center, sitting back into your chair pose. This time, as you come back up to mountain, you're going to kick your right foot straight forward. Kick forward. Then land lightly in your squat position. Kick forward. Land in your squat and kick. Off at your own pace here. If you feel really steady, you can go a little bit faster, creating a little bit of cardio, or a lot of it. Stay in control. Knees stacked over heels. Sit straight back, strong core. Last cycle. And then come into your squat, hold, 3. Little squats, 2. One more squat, and then press to standing. Reach your arms high, fold forward, pause for a moment and forward fold. Hey, grab your opposite elbow, take a ragdoll to rest and breathe. Sway a little side to side. The hands can come down towards the floor. On your inhale, come to a half lift. As you exhale, plant your hands, step it back to high plank pose. 10 more push-ups. Hands can be wide, wider than your mat. Lower down, press up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Press it back, come into a bit of a child's pose. Downward facing dog. In down dog, take the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps forward between your hands. Crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted. Arms reaching tall. In crescent lunge, you're going to bend your back knee. Okay? As you bend your back knee, sink nice and low. Draw in gently through the lower abdomen. Okay, just like we did in those squats, we're going to kick the left foot towards the front of the mat. So launch off your back foot and kick the foot forward. Then slowly we land back in our split lunge with the back knee bent. Kick your left foot forward. Take it back. 3 more like this. Try to move a little bit slower. Slower in this situation is much more challenging than fast. 2 more, nice and slow. And last one. Coming into your split squat, begin to straighten both of your legs. Take your hands down towards the ground. Pause here for just a moment. Come up onto your left fingertips, or you could put your left hand on your shin and take your right hand up to the sky. Revolving triangle pose, twisting. Release the hand down towards the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a high plank pose. Option to stay here or lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your left leg up high and step your left foot forward. Inhale, come up into your crescent lunge. Begin to bend your back knee, dropping the knee a little bit closer to the ground. Make sure your stance is long enough so that your front knee is stacking over your heel. Let's get ready to kick forward. Kick the foot through, push through your heel, and then land slowly back into your crescent, bending your back knee. 4 more times, slow and controlled. Maybe 2 more. Once you're ready to, you can land in your split squat, pause for a moment, then straighten both legs and release the hands down towards the ground. From there, we'll take the right hand up to fingertips, or you can have your hand on your shin and send your left hand high to the sky. Revolving triangle pose. Bend your front knee, plant your hands, step it back to a high plank pose. Yogi's choice if you'd like to move through a vinyasa, chaturanga, upward, and then downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Empty it all out. On the inhalation, we're coming forward into a high plank pose. Lower down onto your forearms. Spin your right forearm to be parallel to the front edge of your mat. Then roll over to your right forearm and elbow and reach your left hand high. Forearm side plank. Taking your left hand behind your ear as if you're saying like, I can't hear you. Then drop your elbow down to almost touch your right hand and then bring it back up. Left elbow touches the right hand, bring it back up. We're doing 1 more. Press it up. Nice work, guys. Come back to center. Guess what? We have to do the other side. Spin your left forearm to face the front edge of your mat. Roll it to the left. Right hand goes behind your ear, like, what did you say? Then drop the elbow down. Lift it up. 2 more. And lift. 1 more. And lift. Come back up. Come to your knees in hero's pose. Sit back onto heels. If heroes does not work for your knees, you could take child's pose. Reconnect with your breath. Now we'll be moving back into downward facing dog. When you get to down dog, take a deep breath. Empty all the air out. And then step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhales, half lift. Exhale, fold. Feet are hip width apart as you inhale to a mountain pose. When you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Then take your arms at your sides, palms face forward. Okay, with the palms facing forward, begin to lift your left knee up towards your chest. Then take your left leg back, moving it into an airplane pose, Dakasana. In airplane pose, begin to bend your left knee. And imagine that you have a plate resting on the sole of your left foot. Lift that plate 1 inch and lower 10 of these. Little pulses. 3 more. 2, 1. Come back up to mountain pose. Okay. Take your hands at your sides. Find your steadiness, your center. Then lift your right knee up towards your chest. Take your right leg back, moving into the airplane. Then bend your right knee and lift your heel up just a little bit. 10 little pulses. Two more. And come back up to mountain pose, lift high. And when you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Sit back into your chair pose and twist to the right, revolved prayer twist. Sink hips a little bit lower. Now in the inhalation, come back to mountain pose, reaching your arms to the sky. Now when you exhale, sit back into your chair and twist to the left side. Just want to work in a couple of twists today, just in case you have some holiday 4th of July toxifying plans ahead of you. Right? I want to make sure we detoxify you really good so that you can enjoy your holiday. Right? Inhale, your arms reach up to the sky. On the exhale, fold forward. Next inhalation, come to a half lift. Plant your hands, step it back. You guys, we have some more push-ups. How many are we going to do today, right? Take your hands really wide. You can have your knees down or you can have legs straight. 10 push-ups. Good. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back, taking a bit of a child's pose. Then downward facing dog. When you get to your downward facing dog, take your right leg, stretch it high to the sky. On your exhale, step your right foot forward. Warrior 2. Arms reaching out. Okay, so in Warrior 2 pose, let's sink a little bit lower. Flip your palm up, stretch forward, reverse warrior. We'll be moving between reverse warrior and half moon pose to challenge our balance and build lower body strength. Let's begin to tip forward, coming into half moon pose. Left leg lifts. Now bend your knee, step back, reverse warrior. Half moon pose. Reverse warrior, you got it, you're off on your own. Whatever pace feels right to you. Some people going slower is more challenging, right? Some people going faster is more challenging. Whatever pace feels right for you to play your edge a little. Now everybody find your half moon pose. In half moon pose, draw your left knee to your heart, bend your right knee and bring your left elbow down, almost touch your left knee. Then open yourself back up. Okay, lowering down into a little ball. Open yourself up. 3 more of these. Woo, almost there, guys. Take it high, step it back, Warrior 2. In Warrior 2, we're going to straighten the front leg. Yeah, reach it forward and then take a triangle pose. Whoever thought triangle pose would be the resting pose, right? Reach tall. I always like to slide my hand up a little higher. It just feels more open through the torso, and then breathing is easier. Let's come back up to standing. Bend your knee. Plant your hands, step back to high plank. If you'd like to vinyasa, you can move through your chaturanga up dog, or you can just hold your plank pose like I'm doing. And then downward facing dog. Take your left leg to the sky. On your exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Warrior 2. Flip your palm up, reach it forward, and reverse your warrior. Prepare yourself to move between your half moon and reverse warrior. Float it forward, and step it back. Float forward. Step back. You got it, your pace. Half moon is where we're going to meet, so pause in your half moon or find your way there. Now draw your right elbow to your right knee, come down into a little ball, bend your standing leg, and then open yourself back up. 4 more of these, but if you notice that you're losing your form, maybe try 2. Or if you need way more than 5, you'll just have to stay after class and do more, right? Open yourself up, step it back, Warrior 2. Straighten your front leg. Triangle pose, reach forward, tip it down. Next inhalation, we're going to come up to standing. Place your hands on your hips. Turn your heels in and your toes out, sinking down into a goddess squat. In your goddess squat, okay, you're going to bring your fists in and your elbows draw into your sides. Sink nice and low. Okay.
With an inhalation, reach your arms up to the sky. When you exhale, sink into your goddess and imagine that you're pulling a bar down towards you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull in. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Yeah, continue to go at your own pace through these goddess squats. Now we're going to hold our squat position. Try to lift your heels up off the floor. Now lower your hands down. Imagine that you're holding onto like a big log and you're pulling the log up towards your shoulder. Yeah. Palms can be open, strengthening our biceps. Heels lifted, strengthening your calves, your feet, your ankles, inner thigh. Only 200 more. Just kidding. Last one. Drop your heels, come up to standing. Place your hands on your hips. Walk your feet in. Okay. Once your feet come in, take a deep breath in, look up, and on the exhale, fold forward. And reach your hands down to your calves, your feet, your ankles. Drop your head down. Okay, a couple deep breaths. Walk your hands out in front of you. Coming to this flat back. Take your right hand and stretch it up to the sky. Then release your right hand down and take your left hand high. And release your hand down. Place your hands on your hips. Begin to slowly rise up to standing. Once we come up to standing, take your feet about just wider than hip width distance apart. And as we come into our hip width distance stance, have your hands at your heart center. Begin to sit back into a kind of a wide squat. Option number one, lift up and draw your knee up towards your heart. Land softly back in your wide squat. Lift your knee up. Okay. Option number two is to land the squat and kick straight forward, push through your heel. Okay. You guys go at your own pace. We're working here for 1 minute. So this is for a cardiovascular strength. Right. Still in control though. "15 seconds left. You got this." All right, you guys, get low, stand tall, place hands on the hips, pause for a moment, just walk it out a little bit. Now we're going to start to work into some balancing that's also going to help us stretch, okay? So you can face the side of your mat or the front of the mat, whatever feels best for you. Get ready for eagle pose. Take your arms out, shoulder height, flip your palms up. Right arm goes underneath and grab outside of shoulders or wrapping at the wrists. Sink down, take right leg up and over. Try to be tall. Elbows lifting up towards like the collarbones will help you to open up your shoulders a little more. Unwind everything, come to mountain. And then hands go out at shoulder height, flip your palms up, and take your left arm underneath. Sink down and take your left leg up and over. Unwind everything, reach to the sky. Come bring the hands to the heart center, pause. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Take your left knee up. Left hand can be at the top of the knee, or if it's available, grab your big toe. Extend your right leg out. Kick your left foot straight forward, or hand on knee. Then draw your foot across to the left as you gaze to the right, stretching through the inner thigh and hip. Come back to the center and release gently down. Let's do the other side. Extend your left arm out. Right hand to knee, or grab your big toe, extending the foot forward. Send your gaze to your left hand and draw your foot across. Bring the foot back to the center, releasing your foot down. Walk towards the top of your mat. Inhale to a mountain pose, reach to the sky. When you exhale, fold forward. Take your left foot back and come into a low lunge pose. Left hand stays on the ground, right arm's gonna reach up to the sky, taking your twist. Now we're releasing the right hand down, bringing hands inside of the right foot, toe heel your right foot all the way to the right edge of your mat. Place your back knee down. Here, if you'd like to, you can let the knee wing out. Maybe we come down onto elbows. Okay, if it feels okay for your body, you can take your right hand onto your quad and roll it away from your heart. Swing your gaze over your right shoulder. Then maybe bend your back knee and grab your foot. Again, if you feel discomfort in your knee, let's back off. Now we'll release the foot. Walk your foot all the way towards the middle of the mat. Half split, begin to straighten your front leg. Toes point up towards the sky, slide the right hip back. Melt your heart forward over the front thigh. Then we're bending the knee, walking your foot over towards the left side of your mat. Begin to straighten your right leg, sliding the right hip back, flex your right foot, and then turn your heart towards the middle line of your mat. And as you fold forward there, we're stretching the outer leg or the IT band. This is a really good stretch for runners. If you do a lot of cycling. And you're bending your knee, walk your foot over towards the middle line of the mat. Tuck your back toes under, lift the knee up, step forward to the top of your mat. We're going to switch sides. So this time you can step your right foot back into a deep lunge. Once you're there, send your left hand high, take your twist. Maybe just notice too, like how much has loosened up from the first time we did this twist. And then hand comes down, place back knee on the floor, walk left foot out. Option to stay high in the palms, or you can come down into your elbows. Allow your knee to wing out to the left, rolling away from your heart. Please feel free to stay right there, or place your hand on your quad. Maybe you gaze over your shoulder, reach back for your foot. Being on the form is really a deep version of this pose though, so coming back up onto the palms to grab the foot is a great option. Whenever I do these quad stretches, I'm reminded of how much Netflix I've been watching in the last 3 months. So much sitting, right? It's a great sort of counter pose to all of that. Let's release. Walk your foot to the middle line of your mat. When you are there, flex your foot, toes point back, and move forward, savoring this hamstring stretch. And we'll bend the front knee, walk your foot all the way over towards the right side of your mat, stretching the IT band region by flexing your left foot. Bring your heart towards the middle of your mat. Sometimes it feels good to even bring both hands like to the other side of the left foot, yeah. And then from here, you can bend your front knee. Okay, bring it back to the center. Then everyone come back into a hero's pose. Tuck your toes under though this time for toe stretch. Hands can walk closer to your knees until you start to feel the stretch. You can also bring your palms up on top of your quads and sit the hips right back down to the heels. Stretch the feet further. Let the shoulders drop down. If there's anything really good about this sort of big pause that we're all taking is maybe we're also pausing from wearing high-heeled shoes, which are also really, really hard on the feet. So here we can kind of rebuild the strength of our feet. And then let's walk the hands forward. There's actually some studies that note, like really, good scientific and medical studies that note that if you practice yoga after a while, you'll recreate the natural spacing between your toes, and your feet will start to come back into a better alignment, which is good for your entire spinal and rest of your body alignment. Yeah. So sweep your heels up to one side. Okay. Go ahead and come to a seated pose. If you have your strap at the front of your mat, go ahead and bring it with you to the back. If you don't have a strap, don't worry. I'll show you how to do the poses without. So you're going to lower down onto your back. Once you're on your back, let's take a bridge pose. Press into your feet. Lift your hips up and take your arms underneath you. If your body is just crying for a wheel pose, you are welcome to place your hands behind your shoulders and press up into a wheel. Otherwise, when you're doing bridge pose, please commit to looking straight up. And then try to breathe into the front of the body. Really breathe into the muscles there. Lower your hips down towards the floor. Slide your arms out from underneath you and just take a gentle windshield wiper.
We're going to move into a supine twist. Draw the knees up to the chest. Take your arms out like a capital T. Softly gaze to the right hand and drop your knees to the left side of the room. Then bring your knees back to the center and drop them over to the opposite side. Come back to the center. You have your yoga strap. Take your left leg long onto the ground and send your right leg up to the sky. Bending the knee, looping the strap around the sole of your right foot. If you don't have a strap, you can hold behind your calf. Okay. Begin to draw the leg back towards you, stretching the entire lower leg. You may even feel some in your back or the sole of your foot. Now, either holding the foot with your right hand or the outside of your right calf, you can also use your strap. Send your left arm out and bring your foot all the way to the right until you feel the stretch of the inner thigh. Bring the foot back to the center. Switch hands. Hold the foot or the strap with your left hand, arm reaching out, and then bring your foot across to the left. You may notice that this brings you to more of a spinal twist. So if you don't feel a stretch in your outer leg, lift your foot higher until you feel the stretch. And let's come back to the center. Bend the knee. Grab onto your calf, or you could use your strap and do a half happy baby pose, drawing the knee wider than the rib cage, pressing it down gently towards the floor to stretch the leg. And we'll switch sides. Send your right leg long. Draw your left foot up. You can grab the strap, place it around your foot. Take the leg straight back towards you to stretch. And then come back to the center. You can hold your left calf or the outside of your foot, holding the strap as you work the leg to the left. Nice. Let's come back to the center, switching hands. Right hand holds the strap or the foot, bring it across. Don't be afraid to lift your foot higher to seek sensation. We're really stretching like the IT band region, the outer hip and glute. Having more supple hips, right? A little bit more flexibility in the hips can also prevent wear and tear in the knee joints if you are someone that enjoys long bike rides or lots of walking. There's nothing more, my favorite thing in the world is to take hikes. Let's come back to the center and we'll take our half happy baby pose. Bend the knee. You can hold on to your calf or the top of the foot or the strap. And then send your leg long in front of you. Take your feet wide. Rest your hands at your sides. And just allow your body to sink down towards your yoga mat. Close your eyes and observe the feel-good hormones that have been released as you challenged your body today to build more core, lower body, and upper body strength. Everything is connected, body, mind, and soul. What we do for one part of us affects the other. So Shavasana is a full self, whole self release. Feel your mind begin to relax. Sink your body heavy and still into the floor. Begin to imagine your body is a boat that is floating on top of a still lake. There are no waves. The surface of the water is like a mirror, it is so still. And you are floating on top of the water. Imagine your worries are like extra things weighing down your boat. And you are simply dropping your worries over the side of the boat and watching them drift away from you. Dropping your worries over the side of the boat until you have created a lightness and an emptiness. And if you would like to stay here and rest for longer, please do. Otherwise, I invite you to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Stretch your arms long above your head. Bend your knees. Roll yourself over to whatever side feels natural. Try not to overthink it. Just roll. And we'll come up slowly to a cross-legged seated position. And when you get to cross-legged, I invite you to bring your hands together at your heart center. And any time today that worries come into your mind, imagine yourself as a boat and you are just gently dropping those worries over the side and watching them sink away from you. Let's take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, gently bow forward in gratitude. Namaste. Wonderful job, everybody. Thank you so much for coming this morning.